Welcome back to Patrick Draws. Today we're going to be drawing cartoon desserts. Thanks to Kaitlyn for the suggestion. So let's get into it. So to make some cartoon desserts, I thought we'd use some real desserts as reference to make our cartoon desserts. So I brought in some images I found. We've got an ice cream cone, we've got a cupcake, and we've got a donut. So let's go one by one here and just look for our shapes. So we've got a nice circle going right through the ice cream cone, something like that. And then we've got a pretty obvious triangle somewhere like around there. And then we've got some outer edges of the ice cream here that I'm just going to represent here with some quick ovals. And for the cupcake, let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm basically seeing a rectangle with one edge slightly brought in, and then we've got a little arc at the bottom there. And if I look at the three rings of the frosting here, I actually am seeing some circles, one there and one there, and then I can connect those circles with some arcs. And I'm seeing that again on the second layer here. And the same thing, let's connect those. And then I've got another circle there, and then maybe a smaller one right in there. And then we've got our triangle at the top. And then I can basically just connect these lines, something like that. And that's giving us our structure for our cupcake. And if we come down here and look at the donut, the overall shape here is a nice big oval. So we do that. And then we know that we've got a hole in the middle of the donut. So that hole, I'm just going to put another oval right there. And what that's doing is that's giving me this bottom line here. So if I take my eraser and take that out, it's giving me a nice line for the bottom of the donut hole. And now if I look at the frosting, I'm actually seeing some circles in here. And then some more ovals, something like that. And you can even say something, if I just do a bunch of them like that, that's giving me majority of my line work for the frosting. So if I were to say erase the lines that I'm not using here, so you can see it's giving us a nice path to make our frosting, which is doing something like that. And again, back up here, same thing. I can do something like that and take my eraser, erase the lines we don't need. And that's kind of giving us our donut. So let's go back up here with my eraser and erase again the lines that we don't need here. And you can kind of see how the cupcake starts taking shape. I do something like that. But I'm going to keep them in for now. And that's going to help me when it comes time to do my own shapes over here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's start out with the ice cream cone. So I know I need a nice circle right about there. And then I know that we've got our center line is kind of angling down at an angle here from about the 1 o'clock position. So we're going to do our angled line, and I'm going to use that as a reference to help me draw my triangle here. And then I know that right around here, I've got We've got some ovals I need to add in. Okay. And let's move over to the cupcake. So I know I've got this. Let me actually just draw a straight rectangle. And now if I were to angle that rectangle in a little bit by adding some triangles and then erasing those triangles, there we go. We've got our angled cupcake. But I'm actually not very happy with that. So I'm going to erase this line because it needs to be a little bit further out. Something like that. Okay, and then remember we've had that arc at the bottom. And then we've got some circles that we need to add in. And those are kind of coming up at an angle from the corners here. Something. And then we've got a little small one here. And then we've got our triangle here. And then I'm going to connect these lines like we did before. And then we connect these with some arcs. Similar arc to what we've done down here. So, there, that gets us pretty close. And then for the donut down here, let's just draw ourselves a nice big oval. And this will be kind of hard to get a good oval. So I'm going to try a few times here. I'm all right with that one. And then remember, we've got our other oval that's up here, something like that. And then I can take my eraser. I'm going to erase the top half of that. And I know that the frosting is kind of arcing something like that around the curvature of the donut. So I can use that as a guideline of where I'm going to add my circles to give us the direction for our frosting. And let's do one up here. Something like that. And grab my eraser. I'm just going to erase that and then let's just connect these lines here. Something like that. And again, using these, I know that we need to do something like that. And then it's going to curve around there. Oop. So we're just going to go in and out of these lines here. There we go. And then I think I'll add one right about there. There. Then we can just come in with our eraser and erase the stuff that we don't need. Again, that's kind of helping us. These circles helped us create these arcs that we traced to make our frosting. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. So we're still in the shapes phase for the most part, but we can use this to create our cleanup drawing. So let's go ahead and go to our layer on top of the shapes layer, our cleanups. And I'm going to grab a black and color and my brush. Oh, and I want to do one more thing. I want to bring the opacity down on those red lines. And then I can just start tracing over my red line. And as I'm doing the ice cream here, I'm just giving it a little bit of a wiggle. And that's going to give us a little bit of texture for our ice cream there. And then we know our cone is going down this way. And if you want to use a ruler here, you can. Just try and keep it kind of straight. And then you see this line that's kind of coming across here. So I'm just going to do something like that, because I know that our cone wraps around. And let's move over to the cupcake here. And again, I just want to be tracing the outer lines. I don't need all of the structural lines. Okay. Something like that. And let's come down in here to the donut and get a nice clean arc for the frosting. And then I'm just going to trace my red line that I've already made here in our rough stage. And then come back here, make the actual donut and our donut hole here. Something like that. Okay, and now I think we're ready to color this in. So to keep things simple, I'm just going to paint everything with a pink. We're going to make some strawberry ice cream, strawberry cupcake, and a strawberry flavored donut. And then I'm going to grab a different color over here. And we can just use the same color on all three because it works. Okay. Now, one more thing we need to do here. We're going to take the original layers down, so we just have our cleanups here. Got an extra line over here. And now we're going to take our black. We're going to just add some little faces to our cupcakes. And same thing over here. I might do something like this. And if you want, you could even give them a little nose. And our donut over here, maybe we'll give him some eyes coming off the top here, something like that. And almost like this could become his mouth here, or even something like that. Might be almost like a mustache there. So let me come in here and just fill in the eyes with white on the donut here, and redraw this line here, and just give him some cute little eyes and something like that, and maybe a little lip. And I'm pretty happy with that. Just remember, we just use basic shapes to create everyday objects, in this case desserts, and adding a couple of smiles on them turns them into little cartoon characters. I hope you enjoyed this drawing of cartoon desserts today. Thank you again to Kaitlyn for the suggestion. If you have a suggestion for something you want to see me draw, just leave it in the comments below. This has been Patrick Davidson with Patrick Draws. See you next time.